Going by my impressions of the attract mode, visually Guwange is going with the S-Braid approach with its grounded, scaled-down aesthetic. Oh. You startled me. If a couple of you are confused what game we're actually covering here, I don't blame you. Guwange. I thought we were covering Guwange! Well, dear viewer, you're absolutely right. So if you need to go take a quick bathroom break to grab the cotton swabs to remove the bloodstains from your ears after my butchering of that title, go ahead and take that time. In the meantime, I'm gonna go re-record myself correcting myself. Sorry about that. Continuing forward. The spin this time being the feudal Japan setting. It's very detailed, combining demons and pseudo-industrial technology. This feels if Pocky and Rocky turned 16 and told their mom to shut up, I'm an adult now. To put it simply, if I strolled across this cab in the wild, I'd certainly throw a few quarters in this machine. The story of Guwange is that the citizens of Japan have been possessed by shikigamis. Now this gives humans supernatural powers, however, the trade-off is that they die after a year. All three of the main characters are plagued with this issue as well, and seek to kill the demon god Guwange to eliminate this curse. All three characters have different attributes and motivations, of course. Shinshin uses kunai and is possessed by the Shikigami Riko. Hopefully I'm saying this stuff right. His goal is to remove his curse, but he was also told that killing Guwange will help him return to his long-lost daughter. He's actually lived longer than a year based on the deal he has made with Riko, exchanging human lives with more time. Kimono uses swords and is possessed by Kirin Maru. Unfortunately for him, Kirin Maru holds a grudge against his family, which explains Kimono's possession. In order to quench the Shikigami's lust for blood, Kimono has become a bounty hunter to avoid innocent lives being taken. Hiragi uses the bow and arrow and is possessed by Yatsuhisha. Yatsuhisha is actually sympathetic to humans, and ironically, Hiragi is from a lineage of demon hunters. Yatsuhisha was assigned to Hiragi during a demon battle. They actually have a good relationship, despite the circumstances. There's actually a reason I started with the character motivations, because it actually goes hand in hand with the gameplay. That's mainly because I think understanding what's happening to these characters actually explains how the gameplay works, which is kind of rare for games to play out like this, and that's very awesome. Gameplay-wise, the characters can use their assigned Shikigami as a defense mechanism. Shikigamis can slow down projectiles, helping you evade potential damage. They can also reach places your characters cannot. This function is also used as a scoring mechanic. If the projectiles are caught by the Shikigami during that same enemy's death, this turns the projectiles into coins. The constant flow of collecting coins is what ramps up your score. Keeping this up is ridiculously challenging. So I start the game and you're greeted with an awesome animation, and you'll notice that you have a health bar in this. So you'll be able to take a couple hits before you have to cough up some change. But frankly, I did pretty well for stage 1. In fact, I don't think I really got hit. In stage 2, an obstacle I noticed that was thrown into the mix was this bridge. This teaches the player that you can be trapped with limited movement to avoid enemy fire in tight corridors, which forces you to rely on your Shikigami to slow down projectiles and kill your enemies while you're in a disadvantaged state. By stage 3, I realized that you really should not stop moving, like at all. When you are using your Shikigami, you're holding in the fire button to control it, and because you'll need to slow down the projectiles, you'll be using your directionals a lot. And just like S-Braid, there is a ton of unique enemies you will be fighting against. Look at these little creatures. Oh, he's hiding. He's just a little shy. So this boss design is actually pretty hilarious, and I have to assume this was intentional, but there's a spider called Arrhenius gamoides, otherwise known as the cat face spider. So yeah, the designers decided to literally create that. On stage 5, you start on a rooftop, which again forces you to use your Shikigami to destroy any enemies that are behind you, as your character cannot attack from the rear. As you continue forward, it becomes abundantly clear that the game is pushing and encouraging you to become progressively better with the Shikigami mechanics, because by the final stage, you better know how to utilize that mechanic, because projectiles will be coming for you in every direction. I pressed on and I finally approached the final boss, Guwange. The sacrificial bodies and giant brain is a nice grotesque touch. Sorry about that. I suffer with PTSD ever since Vampire Savior. This is some fetus of God shit going on here. This fight is actually pretty long and has multiple phases. I suppose it wouldn't truly be a final boss without that. I also noticed a lot of slowdown with the fetus demon phase. You can only do so much on the 68,000 board in 1999. And curiously, in another phase, this boss uses a Shikigami as well. The last phase caught me off guard, since this is a first, but bombs don't work here. So if you suck like I do, this won't breeze by quickly spamming the bomb button. After many deaths and defeating Guwange, the ending cinematic starts, and there's an elaborate scene that plays out. Each ending being specifically tailored to the character you chose. This is actually nice because if you recall, I stated in the previous episode that Esperate had vague notions of a plot, but here, character motivations are more clear and elaborate. I appreciate this improvement, and personally, I believe Guwange has the best presentation of the titles I've covered so far, which really is not that surprising considering Junya Inoue's fingerprints are all over this title. Now what is surprising is that despite the success of Esperate, Inoue was not originally involved with this title. In 2010, a cave shooting history book was created, containing multiple interviews with the cave staff. This is where Inoue states, "Cave made a big fuss about the Japanese aesthetic at first. I wasn't at the Guwange team at first. One day I took a peek at what they were doing, and they were saying the Japanese style would come from mechs with Japanese roof tiles as armor. And then I exclaimed something like, how exactly is that Japanese style shooting? Well, after that, you know how it is. Once you speak out, you've got to help out, and I've joined the Guwange team." And as it turns out, this was actually an excellent move, and not because we just get to experience Guwange with its beautiful aesthetics. What made this a good move overall is that this game is what helped expand Inoue's art style. When Inoue was asked out of all the games he's developed, which one had the most emotional significance to him, he answers, "In their own way, I feel a strong connection to various things, but in the sense of which one was the most challenging, Esperate I felt inside that I had changed Cave with this game. Also Guwange for showing me that I could draw pictures like that. These two are the most significant for me because I feel like I was able to express myself with them most fully." At this point, it's clear that the Cave devs elevated their craft significantly in the span of 4 years. Guwange is a beautiful send-off to the Cave 68,000 board, as this would be their last time using this hardware. Thankfully, acquiring Guwange isn't impossible. It was ported to the Xbox Arcade Marketplace, which means you can play it on your Xbox 360, Xbox One, or Xbox Series console, and for $10, you can't really beat that. I'm sure the purists will stick to the Mr. Core or the original arcade PCB board though. Overall, I was really surprised how much I like Guwange. I knew I would like it, and I actually played a demo of this years ago, but playing through it exceeded my expectations. I felt like I had more options at my disposal to survive the barrage of bullets. The enemies were varied, and the bosses were grotesque and detailed. I would go as far as saying that I believe I enjoyed Guwange more than Esperate, which is a giant shocker to me. And regardless if Guwange is your favorite or not, you can't deny that the gameplay is definitely unique. And like Esperate, due to Inoue's strong art design, this game stands out harboring its own personality. I believe this is why Cave shmups age so well. They constantly take the shmup base, mixing it with a strong, visually distinct aesthetic, adding a unique mechanical spin, making it replayable and remain fresh, even 20 years later. You know, originally this was going to be one video. All 5 games condensed in one package. I had all my footage pre-recorded, all my notes written, but by the time I was ready to put everything together, I stopped. I couldn't tell you why. Maybe I was caught up with work, maybe I had other life priorities, but I think there was another factor that comes into the mix. Doubt. The truth is I've been sitting on this footage for months, and it wasn't until a personal friend came up to me and said, "Hey, when's your next video?" Okay, maybe he didn't say that, but I expressed to him that as much as I love arcade titles, I'm not an expert at all of them. And sure, I know some obscure shit, but it's not as if I know the hitbox frame data of Charlie Nash's big stupid fucking hair. And that's when my friend responded, "Well sure, but you share things with me I never heard of all the time. Your videos don't have to be just for experts, they can be for people just like me. And also, you're so goddamn attractive I just can't think straight. And you know something? My incredibly gay friend with good taste is right. I don't have to be the Electric Underground in order to make videos about shmups. As long as my content is entertaining and offers something of a merit, whether that's a fun fact, insight, or just a laugh, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. However, you should definitely check out Mark's channel if you're into shmups or any kind of critique in general. Solid stuff. So I want to take this moment to thank my pal for encouraging me, you guys for watching me, and say hi to the new people that have subbed to me. Hi. So if you like this content, you know the drill. Leave a like, sub, share, write a comment down of what are your favorite shmups out of what I covered. Rank them. I want to thank all of you for going through this journey with me. This is season 1. There will be a season 2. Don't you worry about that. And if you're feeling extra charitable and really like my content, feel free to check out my Patreon. Anyway, guys, before this becomes a 3-hour video, let's end it here. Thank you again. Love you. Goodbye.